This is good old Dad Rocks here. Dad Rocks has a little information on the Ford Explorer 2003 that my son was driving when he was 16 in high school. My son, obviously, a young man, really probably put this engine under a lot of strain at certain times. But, I do depend on Ford to be durable and back up their product. The issues I run into, this thing sat in my front yard for 2 years because I was told the right rear seal was busted and my head gaskets was busted, and it was cheaper to just buy a new engine and put it in. Well, of course it's cheaper, but not all of us have a big fat bank account full of cash. If I did, I would have just bought a new truck. So I took on this job to come out and fix this Ford Explorer. Now I'm going to show you some little tidbits here. Hopefully this will help. If not, if you have the same issues, if you're going to tackle this, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to show you as possible as the days go by. But I want to tell you where we began, where we're at now, what's going on. The Ford Explorer, when we first got it, I'm going to show you the engines here. Alright. Right here on the driver's side head, we pulled it, we changed the gasket. It wasn't too hard, but when we did it, we found the timing chain. The timing chain has a tensioner. That tensioner goes up into it, and what it does, it pushes into the chain. That tensioner is made of this material. I'm not really sure what this is, if it's aluminum or what, but this is very fragile, and I'll show you where this come off here in just a second. Also, they filled it with this crap. This is what's also, your chains and stuff are running over these, and it's some kind of a plastic, seems to be, and you can see even here the wear and tear from the chain. Why you would put this into a vehicle, I don't know. But here's where we got into the big problem. The front wasn't too bad to deal with. So we get to the back, and it says, everyone who talks to us says, if you got to pull this cam right here, this head, you got to pull the engine. Now, being country folks the way we are in Arkansas, we try to do everything anyway. We did get the head off, as you can see. This is my timing chain. I've got it tied up here to keep some tension on it, but right in here we had a cassette. Well, that cassette, in order for this head to come straight up or go straight down, this engine does have to be out of this vehicle. When we pulled this head off, here's what we found. Now this thing right here, your chain also has some of this plastic crap connected to it some way. Anyway, this is the basis. This actually lays like this. No, it lays like this in there. And your tensioner pushes up. So when it does that, that chain is actually almost looks like it's a figure eight. That chain will go in like that. So without this, that chain's going to rub actually on your block and on your head. And come on, Ford. You should have done us one better than that. So here's what we are going to do. I've made up my mind. We're going to pull the engine out so I can replace this. What's crazy, I'm this far in. This is really a quick fix once I get the engine out. But to get the engine out, I got to pull the transmission so I can get the engine lifted up. I got to pull all the motor mounts. We'll lift the engine straight up. I still got to pull my flywheel. I think that's really it. As you can see in here, I've got some connections I got to pull, but I'm going to have to pull this. I may get out without having to pull my radiator. I don't know. I'll let you know in the future. Once I get this thing up and out, on the back of this engine, there's actually, it looks about the size of a quarter size bolt that's going to go in there. I've got to pull that out, get my cassettes, obviously, put them in. The whole job, putting those cassettes in, will take less than maybe 15-20 minutes. But then I've got to re-put this back in here. when I do it, I'm going to go ahead and change the cassettes out on the front and make sure they're good. Ford has said that they used a better material to replace these. So we're going to see. So right now it is December 29th. So we'll see how long this takes me. I'm going to show you some pictures of the head we pulled. Right here's the head we pulled. Your lifters and everything. Everything actually looks pretty good. Ford did all right here. Where they made their mistake, the mistake came from putting plastic cassettes in an engine. Really? So this is Dad Rocks. Dad Rocks out.